If China was once the most advanced country on Earth, then why didn't they use their lead to discover and colonize the New World? Well, there actually was one emperor that was kind of interested in exploring what was out there, and he sent this guy, Zheng He, to do it. So his fleet set sail, made the first Chinese contact at far-off lands, and brought home exotic animals and goods from abroad, all while Chinese merchants would set up shop at port cities along his voyages. Things were looking good until the emperor who supported all of this passed away, and the new emperor saw things a bit differently. To start, him and his new friends in government were heavily Neo-Confucianist, which was an ideology that was more focused on internal stability, social harmony, and self-sufficiency. And they wanted to protect traditional Chinese values from getting corrupted by foreign influence. In fact, many elites at the time believed that talking to foreigners was just pointless because China just didn't have that much to learn from what they considered to be less advanced civilizations, and embarking on these massive voyages to make foreign friends was really expensive. Not only that, but foreign voyages went against their political interests, as the political elite was afraid of free trade, to oversimplify. See, all these Chinese merchants springing up along the voyages created a rich merchant class which could be a threat to the emperor's own power, and this had to be suppressed. All these motivations combined meant the Chinese elite pushed more and more isolationist policies, until the emperor declared that all voyages to the outside world were completely forbidden, and no more ships were to be constructed. Meanwhile, a couple thousand miles away, Europe was going through a totally different situation which made exploration very appealing to them. To start, Europe was made of smaller states where each state was looking to expand its influence. This was totally different from China, as China was already large, so it was a much higher priority for you as a ruler to focus on holding together the massive country you already had, which was hard enough at the time than it was to sail into the distance and try to gain even more land. These smaller states meant that if you were an ambitious explorer who wanted to find a government that would sponsor your voyage with ships and men, then it didn't matter if one government that you asked said no, you could just hop over and ask another. And this actually is exactly what happened. Christopher Columbus was an Italian explorer, but he approached the Portuguese king for permission, and got rejected because the Portuguese king's advisors thought that Columbus's estimates for how large the earth was and how long it would take to get to India were totally off. And the Portuguese king was totally right, by the way. Columbus's estimates were way off, so he never made it to India, but accidentally stumbled upon the Americas instead. But that was alright. Columbus just went to the Spanish king and queen, and even though their advisors also thought Columbus's estimates to India were totally off, the Spanish monarchs decided to just ignore them and give Columbus a shot. And even if the Spanish monarchs said no, Columbus's brother was in the process of pitching this idea to France and England, giving him even more chances. On the other hand, if the Chinese emperor said no, then you were basically out of luck because there's nobody else to ask.